You are listening to Animal Soul Wisdom Radio, tapping into wisdom of our animals, angels, and masters with Darcy Pariso. Tune in monthly to learn how you can better understand your animals and deepen your relationship. This hit show calls attention to the many roles animals play in our lives. Through stories and insights, Darcy shares how animals assist us in raising our consciousness and fulfilling our soul's purpose. These busy healers help us with transitions and challenges, love us, and want us to have more joy in our lives. Are you ready to see yourself through your animal's eyes? Learn how they're helping you and walk through life with more ease and grace? Working with ancient healing practices, Darcy can guide you and provide inspiration to move forward. To learn more, go to darcypariso.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Darcy Pariso, the host of Animal Soul Wisdom Radio. Thanks for joining me today. I'm here every second and fourth Thursday, and you can find those times and the show information on the Dr. Pat Show on the website, also on Transformations Talk Radio's weekly schedule, and you can go to my Facebook page, Angels and Animals, and please visit my website, darcypariso.com. So I'm really excited about today. It's a very important show, and it's also very timely. I'm going to be introducing Susan Sinclair of Grace Flow Healing Arts in just a few minutes. And Susan, she's the expert. She's just the best for space clearing and many other things. And we're going to be sharing lots of tips and stories today and why this is important to you and why it's important, especially at this time during the holidays, and how it impacts your animals. And you might be seeing, things with your dogs and cats also. So it's really important. She'll give you some great tips and things that you can do. So please stay tuned and help your family, human and animals, this holiday season. So Susan Sinclair, please join me and welcome.
Thank you, Darcy. It's just such a pleasure to be here and to have that warm energy from you and to be present with some very significant and helpful energy healing tips for people's pets and spaces. That it's good any time of year, but we're going to enjoy whenever this shows up, wherever it shows up. If you're hearing this today, it's the right time for you to be aware of space clearing and how it benefits your wonderful animal companions and you.
Yes, and I'm going to give you a little bit more about Susan's background. For those of you that don't know Susan, I'm sure that you will after today, because she's awesome. Susan is a soul healer, an Akashic healer, and an energy clearing expert. After her spiritual awakening in 2011, Susan studied and trained intensively with energy healers, masters such as Cindy Dale, Linda Howe, and Jonathan Goodman to develop her signature energy work. And it clears discordant patterns and restores energy harmony to people, pets, and places, your homes, etc. Susan has helped just hundreds and hundreds of clients worldwide to clear themselves, their spaces, and now she's bringing this expertise here with us today. So there you go. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you, Darcy. It's really an honor to be here with you.
Yeah. So Susan, I was thinking that we should probably tell our listeners how this came about, how the show started. And Susan was teaching a class on space clearing here in the Edmonds, Washington area. And I really wanted to go to it. And I kept meaning to ask her about it. So I invited her to come over and share her tips and her stories with me. And then it brought up some things that, of course, was going on in my own home. So we got busy here. So I got to see Susan in action once again. So would you like to share that story about how we got started and the portal in my house?
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting place to jump off. Not everyone is going to experience a situation as intense as yours, because every home is unique, just like every person and every animal is unique in their energy system and how they're interacting with the energy around them in the environment. So your home has some particular issues, and every home does, especially when there are energy sensitive people or energy workers that live in the home. It raises the vibration, it raises the energy activity. So you had something going on that was having some very detrimental effects to you and to Kobe, your lovely dog. And if you want to tell them what was it doing to you, that's the alert that most people get, that there's something wrong with the energy, because your home was physically clean, physically spacious. You do energy work on yourself and Kobe all the time. So, but you were still noticing some things, and it wasn't changing with the usual things you did to clear yourself or heal yourself and Kobe. So what were you noticing?
Well, I'm very diligent. I've learned to really manage my energy, and I sit in the power every day. I clear my chakras, my just all my energy fields and my dogs. And so I think that we're good, but I just kept losing time and was very fatigued, and it was hard to be grounded. I kept clearing my house. I kept clearing my portal. I kept clearing everything. And it was getting to a point where weeks were passing, and I felt like I was sitting on my couch all day and I just could not get focused. And I kept saying, I need Susan. So that's when you came over. And I should preface this that I do have a portal in my house that I work with. And I learned when I moved into this home 7 years ago that that's a portal that came in with me, and it helps me with my work. So I'm always working with that portal. But then some time ago, and maybe it's been 6 months or longer, 8 months, 9 months, I was talking to somebody, and I had been feeling like this also. And she said, oh, you have a portal. And I said, I know, and I know where it is. And she said, no, it's not that. It's outside of your home, but some of it's coming into this one wall. And she told me the area, and it was partly into my dining room. And so she worked with that, and I was good for a while, and then I wasn't. That's when you came in.
Right. So that's, again, for people who may or may not be aware of portals as an energetic thing, that's a technical term, thing, that portal is simply a passageway. And it can function like a tunnel or a doorway. It connects different aspects of energy reality. And it can be different dimensions or even different places in time. If you want to look up the woo-woo parts of portals, you can find lots of great stuff on the internet about people's experiences with portals. But what clued us in that something needed tending to about this particular passageway, because as Darcy mentioned, there's one that has been there that is actually beneficial to her. So there was nothing to adjust. It was compatible with her energy. But this other passageway that was recent, and that can happen, that the energy around the world, it's kind of like cloud cover. There will be thin places, there will be thick places, and where things are thin, and that happens at certain times of the year that we notice, like the solstice and the equinoxes, and certain numerologically significant times create a thinning, a general thinning of the separation between these levels of reality. But when something happens that creates non-beneficial effects on your energy, that's when I would say this is not a negative energy. Okay, we talk about things that affect us adversely as if it's all bad. It's as neutral as the weather. This was a particular kind of energy weather or energy phenomenon that made Darcy uncomfortable, that caused harmful effects to her energy patterns and her way of being. So that's when I call it discordant. It can be neutral. There can be no malice or hostility there. It just doesn't work well with who you are. And that's what Darcy was experiencing, right? That it just didn't work well with who you were. And nothing, the normal stuff you tried and even some expert help didn't actually remedy the problem. That's when you know you need to call in someone who focuses or specializes in energy clearing. And that seems to be how my work has evolved, where mostly I'm an unmaker of energy snarls and tangles and discord. And what the work that I do results in is a reharmonizing of the energy, whatever that means. And in your space, Darcy, it meant we needed to close that portal. It just wasn't meant to be there.
Yes. And it was really helpful for me to know that, like you said, there was nothing wrong with this portal. It just it was not compatible with my energy or my other portal.
And yeah, sometimes that the original healer tried one approach, which often would be quite effective, that her goal was to harmonize the energy of the two portals. That's a legitimate approach that's often quite effective. In this case, it wasn't. The vibrations kept slipping out of harmony with each other, and that's why the results didn't last, because there were these natural frequencies that couldn't really be changed. They could be temporarily changed, but not permanently, and that's why it just kept showing back up. And I just want to say, for anyone who's tuning in and kind of getting some kind of resonance about this, when a pattern may temporarily shift but always keep slipping back to something that doesn't feel good, doesn't feel right, that's when you know there's some innate incompatibility in the energy frequencies, and then a different approach is needed. And that's where you probably need an energy clearing expert who knows a lot of different approaches.
Yeah, and I was so, fortunate to find you and to have you be doing this particular time to teach that class and bring it to my awareness, because I thought that I was doing my due diligence and couldn't understand what was happening.
And yeah, frankly, you were doing everything that would be normally correct and would take care of your basic energy situation. And it's not a glamorous term. There's nothing sexy about energy hygiene, but that's pretty much what it is. It's like our physical hygiene is showering, cleansing ourselves, brushing our teeth, washing our hands. Nothing glamorous about it, but that's what keeps us healthy and functional in our daily lives. And it's the same application for our energy systems and for our homes. Just like we need to vacuum and dust and wipe down the surfaces in our homes so that they are clean and welcoming and energetically and physically safe to be in, to support our health, the same thing needs to happen energetically. And not usually just once, but periodically. Just like you can't vacuum your home once and there you go, that's it, till you move out. It's the same way with energy cleansing. It needs to be done as a matter of routine. There are times when you get some big dirt and you do something special to clear it or cleanse it. And that's kind of the situation. That's what you were experiencing, with some big energy gunk, something that was truly adversely affecting you. Kobe seemed to be less affected, but there are times when the energy affects your animal before it affects you. And that's what I'm wondering, would you like to know a little bit more about that? How your animals might be displaying symptoms of energy incompatibility.
Yes, and I was going to bring that up. My dog, Kobe, the Havanese, she's 14, and she works with energy quite a bit. She's very astute. And even just recently, in the last week or so, I said, I've got to do more work or talk to Susan again, because she's kind of scanning, she's watching things, everything's okay. But when I see her kind of go on, it's almost like she's not high alert, but almost there, and she looks and she follows it. And I say, okay, who's here? And I find out if I know that person, if it's my family visiting from the other side or what. Or if I don't know them, then I tell them they need to leave. But the other thing is that she will bark. She'll get upset and she'll just bark, bark, bark. And I went, okay, there's somebody here and I need to clear that. So she's very much aware of it. And I know that all animals are impacted, whether they let us know or not, because they're feeling, and they can feel things much more deeply than we can and more quickly very often.
That's so very true. Our animals are more tuned in just generally. They haven't been conditioned mentally to discard or disregard intuitive or energetic signals. So they're tuned in, they're aware, and they're often responding to discordant energy or presences sooner than we do. So if you're not sure what's going on in your home environment energetically, your pet can give you some valuable clues when something needs to be remedied. So I mentioned some of the symptoms that the energy's off and it's not a physical issue. That's always the first thing you check, of course. Is there a physical cause? Is there dust? Am I allergic? Am I sick? Is my pet physically ill? Always check that first. And if that is not the case, then these symptoms that I'm aware of that affect people and animals can be clues that there's something amiss with the subtle energy in the environment that needs to be remedied to bring your pet back to energetic wellness, and you too. So fatigue. If you or your animal feels super fatigued for no apparent reason, there's an energy drain that's usually caused by something that doesn't match your energy well. You might have aches and pains, or your animal might be showing some signs of aches and pains that you think, what is this from? If it's not clear what the cause is, it's often subtle energy. There may be things like dizziness, lack of appetite, sleep disturbances, seeming confused. That can affect people more obviously than pets, but a sense of confusion or mental fog. Sometimes a fear reaction, just an unexplained fear reaction. Humans, we can feel these waves of anxiety or nervousness or just plain fear that seem to come out of nowhere. And your pet can do that too. It can happen to your pet. And it looks to us with our less well-attuned senses like they're reacting to something that's, nothing. It looks like nothing. They're looking at nothing. They're barking at nothing. That is almost never the case. If your animal is showing some kind of response that seems to indicate something's present in the environment, you can be sure there is something present. Trust your animal to indicate to you whether this is something that requires your attention. Personality changes or mood swings can affect people more, but your animal will respond to changes in you. And that's something to pay attention to as well. So those are some clear and obvious signals that something's off in the energy. If it doesn't register physically, if there's no physical cause, there's an energy cause, and your animal is faithfully trying to tell you there's something wrong and we need to do something about it.
Yeah, and you used the term energy allergy, and I thought that was very appropriate because that's what it felt like. And at that time, my dog was sleeping a lot. She was displaying a lot of those same symptoms that you're talking about, but she's also older and she can go back and forth, so it wasn't totally clear to me.
Yes, and that's the thing. Sometimes it isn't clear because energy issues can mimic those caused by physical ones, or they can be subtle and not so easy to detect. So if you're not sure that your pet is registering or displaying some symptoms of energy discordance or energy interference, I sometimes call it that, just sit down quietly and get tuned into your own inner guidance and simply ask. Just ask your guides. Is there something energetic that's not right here, that's not compatible? Is there something off with the energy here? And you'll get a clear answer, especially if you're one of those where your mind is very active and you want logical or some other kind of confirmation, just ask it 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 ways. If you get a consistent answer, then that's your answer. And you just want to pay attention to that to say, wow, I'm just getting repeated indications of something off with the energy. Then you're ready to ask, what do I do? And that's where I can offer some things that you can do for yourself to change the energy in your home.
Mm-hmm. And you are the expert at that. Susan, I think this would be a great time to maybe take our first break. And when we come back, we can talk about, what those, all those things are. What are some tips? What are your secret sauce and all the things that you have to share with us. And it's so perfect at this time. So I'm really excited. So I would like to thank everyone for tuning in, and we will be right back. We're taking a short break. This is Darcy Pariso on Animal Soul Wisdom Radio with Susan Sinclair, and we'll see you soon.
Tap into the wisdom of animals, angels, and masters with Darcy Pariso on Animal Soul Wisdom Radio. Tune in monthly as Darcy brings insights on how to better understand and deepen our relationships with animals. Working with light and pureness of ancient techniques, Darcy, healer, animal communicator, and medium, is here to guide you through this process and provide inspiration to move forward. For more information about working with Darcy, visit darcypariso.com.
If you've ever had a broken heart, you know how painful that can be and how long it can sometimes take to heal it. I'm Megan Edge, author of The Heart's Journey, Healing Hearts Oracle Cards and Guidebook, published with Balboa Press and Hay House. In The Heart's Journey, I share with you my own heartbreak and how I healed it through the beautiful hearts that found me in nature. From taking photographs of these hearts for myself, I've created this beautiful toolkit, which includes the guidebook, which has my story, how to work with oracle cards as a healing tool, and the story of each of these hearts as they cross my path. I've also created a beautiful journal. There's a pen, a bookmark, and of course, the 42 Healing Hearts oracle cards. You can order the Heart's Journey, Healing Hearts oracle cards and guidebook through my website, meganedge.ca, through Balboa Press, Amazon, and many other places online or your local shops. I look forward to hearing about your heart's healing.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Sometimes being human has its challenges. Our physical health falters, our spirits sag, our dreams don't immediately come to fruition. Welcome to the power of Maximum Medicine Radio. Join me, Doc Martin, in conversations that will blow your mind about healing. In our hit show, Doc Martin addresses the scientific with bridging to the mystical approaches to give you a new narrative about maximum medicine. In this live call-in show, we will journey into the extraordinary genius of the human body and talk about other beliefs that impact being your multidimensional self. We seek the seen and the unseen and explore the earthbound and the otherworldly, all with the purpose of calling forth the maximum you. To learn more about Doc Martin and Maximum Medicine, visit www.sharonmartinmd.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Darcy Pariso at Animal Soul Wisdom Radio, and my guest today is Susan Sinclair of Grace Flow Healing Arts. And before the break, Susan and I were talking about space clearing and how it impacts our animals and things that we can do both for ourselves and our animals and how to recognize energy and just all kinds of great things. But now we're going to do the deep dive and go into some ways that we can identify. We talked a little bit about some symptoms, maybe it's fatigue and just feeling off and just a lot of different things like that. And how do we know when it's something that is normal or something that is energy that's impacting us? And so now we're going to talk about techniques. We were going to talk about the secret sauce and some of the ways, things that we might have in our homes that we can use to help us to clear the energies.
Right. So it's wonderful to have the remedies. Once you know what is off, the next step is how do I address it? And there are I have 5 specific processes that are very simple and they are very potent. They're easy to do, and I recommend combining or layering a couple of different approaches at least. It's kind of like vitamin C, that we have lots and lots of ways to get vitamin C in our diet because it's essential. And if you don't like oranges, you can eat potatoes or vice versa. So that's what I understand with these specific techniques is you may find that 1 or 2 of them really feel great to you and you want to have those as your go-tos. It's always good once in a while to both change things up, to bring novelty to your environment so that you kind of freshen things up. And it's also important to maybe have 3 different things operating at the same time to give your home broadband energetic cleansing and address everything on lots of different levels, even if you don't know exactly what it is. And that's the wonderful thing about energy work. You don't have to know exactly what's happening. These remedies work for a broad variety of energetic issues or interference. They're all safe and effective. There are some that are less compatible or advised with animals. And so I'm going to make special mention of those to say, use caution, use discernment with those specific tools. But to undergird all of it is what I call my secret sauce. It's as if you're creating a recipe to harmonize the energy in your home. And every recipe has some kind of secret sauce, a key ingredient, the one thing that binds all the flavors together and makes it work. And that's what I want to offer here, is the secret sauce to energy clearing and energy harmony for yourself and everything around you, including your beloved companion animals. And this secret sauce is 3 core concepts. You may find that these concepts are extremely simple, but it's like a vitamin deficiency. When energy intrudes or intervenes or invades our space, we are deficient in one of these key ingredients in our secret sauce. And it's nothing to get upset about. It's simply something to notice and then remedy. So let me name the core concepts that power up all the ways that you can clear and harmonize energy. And they come from within you. So this is you going to your own personal core. And the first statement, the truth that needs to come from the core of you outwards, is, I am sovereign. I am a sovereign being who has 100% permission and authority to own my energy and own my space. So I'd like you to just take a breath and really speak that internally or even out loud. I am sovereign. It's an ancient concept that's gaining recognition again because humans have been conditioned to give up their sovereignty, or what some people might call their authority or their seniority in their own space and in their lives. And that loss of sovereignty allows all kinds of things to invade, to bother us, to consume or drain our energy when we don't have that strong sense of sovereignty, personal authority over our own energy. So that is the absolute core central concept. I am sovereign. The thing to affirm and assert about your space around you is expanding outward. My space is sacred. Now, if sacred isn't the right word for you, you can find another way to express that the space around you is totally and completely yours. 100% yours. Sacred is a way that brings the energy into this space of divinity and harmony in my own understanding and approach. So I invite you, if the word sacred is right for you, own it. If the word sacred is not quite right with you, find your own term. And the third core concept is I choose to create harmony. So that's a vibrational statement of, here are the energies that I vibrate at. Here are my frequencies. This is what brings health and vitality to me. Harmony is the energies that support that. And they might be different. We're not all just singing one tone in our energy song to the world. We're singing a whole symphony. And it's meant to be harmonious. Discord is a wonderful attention getter. It's real punchy, and it definitely calls our attention to what is creating discord. But a state of discord is extremely wearing. It's fatiguing. It's not sustainable. So your core expression and desire is usually to create harmony. And that allows things to be what they are in ways that create harmony with you and with your companion animal. So that's the secret sauce. And I think you recognize that this is truly core and central, the key ingredient. Everything else works based on how well you've got your core aligned with those beliefs and statements. And where you don't feel sovereign, and it's hard to feel sovereign, that's where you would be lovingly invited to do some energy work on yourself to restore your sovereignty, because that powers up all these little practical methods I'm going to share. So just kind of taking a breath and saying, okay, here's your 3 core ingredients of your own secret sauce. I am sovereign. My space is sacred, and I choose to create harmony. So just feel for a minute what that does to shift the energy within your own being. I suspect and would affirm that it creates a sense of solidity, of alignment, of strength from within that then you can apply to all these specific techniques that I would love to share with you.
Yes, and I find sometimes that when making statements like this for myself, that it naturally is picked up or impacts my animals, and I just kind of state the intention to myself that whatever is in their best and highest good, and then I offer it to them, and I know that they are very wise and will choose accordingly.
And that's a beautiful way to extend that, to simply offer it to your companion animals and let them, their inner wisdom, their greater wisdom, choose what's right for them, what's harmonizing with them. So yeah, that's really beautiful, Darcy. And I know that every animal you work with has that gift of grace from you.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
So we feel like we're ready to talk about the tools. Want to get specific?
Yes, let's do that.
All right. So these are 5 separate tools that I like to list in order from the most solid or earth-based or physical to the most etheric or spiritual. The solid or physical ones are often our go-tos when we really need to anchor and reinforce sovereignty, and when we need something that works like 24/7 without us paying a lot of attention to it. My whole goal with energy clearing is you don't need to micromanage it. It's set, and then just periodically refresh and trust yourself to know when it's time to refresh. So the first method is very solid, and it's a lot of people's personal favorites, but some people, if you don't like it, don't worry about it. It's not the one and only. Crystals. So the gift of crystals is they are totally animal compatible. They're stable. They're steady. They can be as portable as you want. You can carry a crystal for your own personal space, and you can set up a grid, a very simple grid around key points in your home that then 24/7 keeps that energy harmonized. So if you're interested, you can contact me for follow-up. I can guide you to sample grids. The 3 types of crystals I recommend are a blend. As always, blending is more potent than single ingredients. So my go-to blends are white crystals or clear, which could include selenite, quartz, clear calcite even, other clear crystals that you are drawn to, or white ones. That's for purification, generally speaking. Medium or solid color crystals, and I would recommend amethyst highly because it's a cleanser and it's a transmuter of discordant to harmonious energy. Turquoise is highly protective. Flint is a new discovery for me. It comes in all kinds of colors, but it has very potent metaphysical applications. It literally cuts through discordant energies. And you may find you're drawn to certain colors. They're the ones that support you best, where you need things cut away. And then I highly recommend black or very dark crystals, such as smoky quartz. Shungite is my go-to, and I'll spell that Shungite. Very, very potent for energy clearing. The black ones are usually clearers and scrubbers and cleansers. So onyx, obsidian, smoky quartz, and shungite. Black tourmaline also, but that's a little bit lower. I would say it's lighter. It's gentler in its effects. If you want a heavy hitter, you want shungite or possibly onyx or obsidian. Those are the heavy hitters, the really potent cleansers. These are the things that if something is really not compatible, they'll take care of it. So a grid would include a blend of all three of those types of crystals. And that is the benefit of that. Again, it's stable, it's programmable. You can fill and infuse those crystals with your intention, and they will work quietly behind the scenes 24/7. Crystals occasionally need clearing themselves, and there's simple and easy ways to do that. The next thing I'd recommend that's a little less physical, and the one where you really need caution with your pets, is essential oils or herbs. I have a personal list of 14 clearing specific essential oils that range from what I would call mild to mega. So an example of mild is lavender. It's generally safe. Most things respond to it, but there are some intense energies where lavender has absolutely no effect on them. Medium would include things like sage oil. I don't generally recommend burning things, especially around pets. They're very sensitive. Their noses are so much more sensitive than us. But that's why I recommend caution and very, very light hand with anything that has to do with essential oils. Diffuse them very gently, dilute them in carrier oils or in water, and always let your pet have a way out of the space that you're clearing, because they'll know when it's too much for them and they'll want to leave. Cats especially, and birds, have very different processing systems for things, for scents, for the molecules, actually the literal molecules of essential oils. Cats' livers cannot process them. So any essential oil can build up to a toxic level in a cat's liver. So be very, very discreet and gentle about using essential oils if you feel called to do that. Always leave your pet a way to leave the space, and always be very mindful of their reactions. So that's my caution. Essential oils are probably the least pet-friendly because of their intensity. But if you make them an herb, or if you dilute them and use them very judiciously, they have an immediate effect on space clearing, which is very handy sometimes. The strongest oils for clearing would be things that we've generally regarded as sacred. Frankincense, myrrh, Palo Santo. Those have such rich human history behind them as being effective on discordant or even genuinely adversarial energies, that they are powerful. They're very powerful. And again, discretion and dilution around pets is key to keeping your pet safe while you're deploying this energy practice.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention, because I've heard various things about essential oils with animals. So great. So what's next?
So beyond that, then we're looking at sound and movement. Again, with pets, their ears are so much more sensitive that you want to be gentle, and you want to leave them space to be elsewhere if you're using some very focused or intense sound. The sound and movement are my personal specialties. Sound is a physical force with metaphysical properties. So favorite sound tools include Tibetan bowls or crystal bowls. Tibetan bowls, the metal ones, have broad spectrum energy. Other sound tools such as ting shas or chimes or tuning forks can be a little more specific. You'll find what you're drawn to. And again, they have an immediate effect. They also last a little longer than, say, essential oils, which will clear out in a matter of hours. The effects of sound can last 24 to 48 hours or beyond. The most overlooked and potentially most powerful sound tool is your own voice. Humming, speaking, singing, chanting, even whispering, your voice is literal vibration. Your body is tuned to the energy spectrum of your own voice. So speak, chant, sing, or play music that holds healing frequencies in the space, and that will have a beautiful clearing effect. If your pet likes it and you like it, then it's harmonious, and it's setting harmonious energies in your space.
Oh, that's good to know. I clap my hands when I chant or sing.
That's beautiful. The sharpness and focus of clapping your hands or stamping your feet, great way to do an immediate energy clearing. And again, if your pets don't like it, they'll leave, but they are not harmed by those sounds. And dance is great. Movement is great. You can literally move energy with your hands and feet through dance or just exercise even with focused intention. So it's the intent that creates the clearing. Great point, Darcy. I love clapping my hands or stamping my feet too, and I can feel the difference.
I can too. I guess I like to feel that vibration, and I think my dog likes it. She thinks it's fun. She thinks I'm playing. And
the energy of play and amusement in working with any of these practices is such another key ingredient, because the minute you bring in play or amusement, you're dispelling heavy energies. You're dispelling any sense of victimhood. You're reclaiming your sovereignty by being amused. It's a total energy shift.
Yes.
That's really supportive of your own sovereignty. So yeah, if you can play with it, you've just like tripled the energetic effectiveness of it.
Yeah. Boy, we are getting really close to the end of the show already, I think. So we've got still two more, right? On this.
Two more that I'll just mention, and then we'll talk about how to go deeper. So the fourth one is, if you're more of a visual, you'll want images, symbols, sigils. There's a lot of sacred symbols you can use. They're very discreet. You can draw them in the air, paint them with water, just envision them in your head. And the final thing is a truly spiritual protocol where you just activate that through your will and intention. The violet flame is a well-known spiritual protocol that cleanses and changes energy. You can develop your own simple ceremonies. And if you're someone who deals with discordant energy that's intense or frequent, I'd recommend a gentle meditation to call in a clearing ally, a genuine spiritual being whose specialty is clearing discordant energies, and make them one of your guides and friends, a companion, a spirit companion, to help you keep your space clear.
I like that idea. It feels like you're in partnership and you have support.
Yes. We all need support. There's no reason not to be thankful, grateful, and appreciative of support. These tools are meant to support you. So it's all support. It's all harmony. It's all collaboration and co-creation with the intent of harmony, and clearing your space, clearing yourself, clearing your pet for this energetic wellness, a sense of vitality and well-being that's meant to be our normal state.
Yes, definitely. So was that the fifth one, the protocol and activations also?
That was the whole, that was the whole 5 yards, because it would be five skills, crystals, oils or herbs, sound, visuals, and spiritual practices or protocols. That's a very robust toolkit, blending any 2 or 3 of those, whatever you most enjoy, whatever's best for your pet. It will give you this broad spectrum protection. And of course, every single one of them has details and depth that you might want to know more about to feel really empowered in using them. And that's where you would want to contact me.
Yes. And, Susan, would you give out your contact information as well as any specials or anything that you would like our listeners to know about?
Yes, absolutely. So my website is the place to get the most information and to make general contact with me. It's graceflow.me, graceflow.me. You can also contact me directly by email, susan@graceflow.me, with any questions. And if you there's just more you want to know, or boy, I actually need a clearing, my space needs a clearing, my pet needs a clearing, and you need an expert to do that, I will have a special for any listener to this show, anytime, anywhere. Just email me, susan@graceflow.me, and say, I heard you on Darcy's show. Just say Darcy's show somewhere in the header or the body, and I will offer you a very special rate for a clearing, or for a combination of clearing and teaching that you might need to really be sovereign in your own space. It will be the very lowest rate that I can offer, and it's only for listeners for this show. So contact me, susan@graceflow.me, mention Darcy Parizo or Animal Soul Wisdom, And I will share with you this very special offer that's just for these listeners.
That's really generous of you, Susan. I know that it'll be very helpful. And I'm thinking about the holidays with different people in and out, different energies, and it's just such a perfect, starting the new year, having everything clean and clear, because it makes such a big difference. And I can say, going back to the very beginning, that having being off, just feeling like you're off, and am I tired? Is it this? And I'm clearing, and it's for me, it wasted a lot of my time, and it was frustrating. And so the day that you came over and we went through these things, it just changed everything very quickly. And I, like probably most of the listeners, thought that I was doing all these things, and maybe I was, but I wasn't getting to the core, and it was funny. It wasn't even until you came over that I mentioned the portal, and I hadn't even thought about it. And suddenly it just popped up. I said, I have this other portal over here. And that was the focus.
And that was the source point of the discord. And there needed a different approach in order to change it. So that's what I want to assure people of, is you may be doing everything that's right for you. Sometimes you need another tool, another pair of eyes, another set of skills. Just like we have specialists for cars and our own bodies, many different types of physical healers. No one person knows everything. That's why we're a collective and a community. We help each other.
Yes, and even people that do, that work with energy or any kind of modality that might be similar, we go to each other for help, because we all, it's hard to see what's right in front of you sometimes, and we need an outside opinion, and we need an expert. We can't be an expert in everything.
Right. That's not even desirable. We're here. Our souls are here for one or two specific things. And in everything else, that's why we're not alone on the planet. There are others here, and we're meant to support and help each other with our unique vibrational spectrum of skills and wisdom and abilities.
Well, I cannot say enough about Susan, about how much she has helped me. And I know back even a couple of years ago, I was feeling kind of off, and she came over and she worked with my back chakras and taught me about some of the exercises that she's trained with Cindy Dale, right?
Exactly. Yes. Cindy Dale is a renowned international energy clearing and healing expert, and she knows about the backside chakras, and that is one of my areas of expertise. It's not well known, but it could be better known, and probably deserves to be better known.
Well, it was immensely helpful for me. So everything that you've done, I'm so grateful for. And I'm so fortunate we live close to each other too.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, Susan she's very, very talented. I highly, highly recommend her. So if you can, if you're even thinking about it, entertaining the idea, please contact her and get some energy help. Take advantage of this special, because who knows if it'll come along again. So please do. And before we go, we're almost at the end of the show. I wanted to give out some contact information for myself also. So it's darcypariso.com. Pariso is spelled like Paris with an O. And I have a holiday gift special. It is gift certificates for 1 hour at a discounted price of just $120. And I was going to offer them for just a short time period, because I can only offer 10. I'm going to extend that time period through February. So there are 10 available. There have been some that have been purchased so far. $120 for 1 hour through February 2019, or until they're gone. But you have that much time, because I am going to take some time off in December. So I'm giving you some time on the other side. So Susan, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you, Darcy. It's an honor and a privilege. I love connecting with you always, soul sister. And I love this chance to share something that will benefit people, their homes, and their animals whenever the energy gets crazy, which holidays, yes. New Year, yes. Seasonally, yes. We need to allow that cleansing and clearing and reset for ourselves and those we love. And I'm just so privileged to be able to share that. And yes, special offer, and it will be flexible because I honor people's budgets and situations. So please know I didn't quote a number, because I follow spirit to find a rate that's exactly right for you and the work we would do together.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And happy holidays to everyone. We look forward
happy holidays.
Yeah, we'll be back next year, but happy holidays. Hope it's
wonderful. Holiday blessings. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Animal Soul Wisdom Radio, tapping into the wisdom of our animals, angels, and masters with Darcy Pariso. Tune in monthly as Darcy shares stories and insights on how to better understand and deepen our relationships with animals. Working with light and ancient techniques, Darcy is here to guide you through the process and provide inspiration to move forward. For more information or to listen to this show, visit darcypariso.com.